20 years, they've been kind of talking about this thing like loosely. And I think the first time I ever heard of it was, I think, 2003. I think United played Real Madrid in the Champions League, and Beckham came off the bench and nearly saved the whole thing. And I remember them kind of talking about like a European league then. But I guess like there was no money, there was no backing, and football's changed so much since 2003. And now to be hearing it on this level, on this scale, and I'm hearing like JP and Morgan are involved, and all these different hedge fund companies and things of that nature. I think the first thing I would probably say is like it's it's long overdue, because I feel like everything evolves. Football, like anything in life, football will have to evolve. Now, VAR is the evolution of their ideas so far, which obviously we know as football fans and spectators that it doesn't really work the way it's supposed to. That's not down to the machine. That's down to the human beings running it. Some of the rules I've been hearing come out of FIFA and UEFA for the last I don't know, year or so, it's been amazingly funny to me. I mean, like, let's take offsides out the game. Let's I think Arsene Wenger was talking about kick-ins instead of throw-ins. And these are prominent people within the game that have a voice, essentially, and they're saying all these things that people are going to listen to. Now, I said in the group chat that if they took throw-ins out the game, then Burnley would win the Premier League, and I thoroughly believe that, because as you saw yesterday, as a straight illustration, United obviously went 1-0 down, or Burnley brought it back 1-1 after a set piece. So imagine now you can get set pieces from the angle of a throw-in. Like, it doesn't make any sense. But more so to the point of the European League, I personally, I'm not gonna say I'm for it, because I don't know what it might bring negatively.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna say I'm against it, because I think FIFA and UEFA have been corrupt for so long. And I also put a point in the group. How do you think the clubs have felt when the FBI raided the FIFA offices and the UEFA offices, respectively? And Sepp Blatter and what's his name, Platini, were both brought up on charges based on corruption and taking money in the Qatar World Cup and all this type of stuff. And all these coaches, owners of clubs, and everything have to adhere to these rules that they set, but they're not even following the rules. So what stops the owners of these teams and getting, because obviously these owners are going to be invested in JP and Morgan, they're going to be invested in all these big hedge fund companies. What stops them saying we're going to start our own league, and forget the system, because the system is not made for us to thrive in?
Yeah, no, UEFA, I'm exactly with you. Like, I don't know, obviously we don't know the details, and there's a lot of speculation as to what the actual league's going to be like, whether UEFA and FIFA are going to let these respective teams play their domestic competitions as well. But we don't know anything about that yet. Like, that hasn't been decided. All that's been decided is these 12 teams want to form their own competition at the moment. And
they're trying to say 20, right? If I'm not mistaken, they're saying overall be 20 teams.
Yeah, and they're going to invite more people in. Like, we don't know the detail, but
the parameters of it.
I guess my main point is that UEFA and FIFA don't own football. They don't own football. No one person, no one entity should own football. So if people want to do their own thing, obviously you want the best for football, but you shouldn't be against it, because the way that UEFA and FIFA and even BT and Sky are acting is acting as if like they
own the whole thing.
Yeah, they're acting as if they
don't take it away from us. I think what's quite interesting is all these bans and things that they're talking about, like, we'll ban you from the competitions, we'll ban you from the league competitions, we'll ban you from the World Cups and the Euros and stuff.
So I don't know who this guy is.
Right.
Like, quite high up is Alexander Surfin. I don't know.
Okay.
You recently just said the players that will play in the Super League will be banned from playing in the World Cup and Euros. They will not be allowed to play for the national teams. And I'm like, it's all well and good you saying that, but this is going to go to court.
It's going to go court arbitrations, of course.
Yeah. You can't just say, they're not going to play because they're playing in this other league, but they're not doing anything against your rules currently that you have for the competition. Do you mean?
But the thing is, and this is what shows the corruption. You're upset because somebody's decided to create a trophy. That's what this essentially is. Like, if you think about it, somebody's decided to create a trophy that would rival the trophies you have in place, or one trophy in particular, which is the Champions League.
Yeah.
You're willing to lose all that money instead of partnering up with these people? I mean, let's really talk about it. Without the players, because we're not going to talk about fans, because the debate on fans to me is irrelevant. Because the truth of the matter is, football only started caring about fans once United couldn't fill Old Trafford and started losing £5 million a game. Like, nobody really cared. I mean, if you go to Old Trafford, for instance, and me being a United supporter, you go to Old Trafford, you can clearly see that the stadium needs restoration. The owners are not paying money into that. You can clearly see with the chasing of Jadon Sancho last summer, the owners are not paying into that. This summer is going to probably be much more of the same. So clearly what you're saying is that we don't care what the fans want.
Yeah.
You being a Chelsea supporter, you guys had a great transfer window, but all in all,
that's for the club though. That's not for necessarily for the fans. That's to That's to be more successful, and more successful means more views.
Yeah.
More views means
more competing, more at the top level.
It means
to me, fans have to accept that this is what's going to happen. And even if it doesn't happen this time around, let's say FIFA and UEFA have their way. The powers that be that are trying to create this are only going to go away and come up with a more foolproof plan to come again in like a year or two's time. The competition even started. You're banning players that from your competition. Don't you know players like Mbappe and that make the Champions League what it is? Rashford, all these guys. So when you're okay, PSG didn't join the league, and neither did.
You know why they didn't join the league?
Yeah, exactly. We know why.
That's the thing. Keep on talking about the teams that haven't. So the German teams, they have got their own sort of like the way that they run the German clubs and the ownership and all that sort of stuff. So you can't really use them as an example for this. And PSG, they're run by
owned by a Qatari family, which is quite interesting because
where's the World Cup going to? Qatar.
Exactly. It's quite interesting because City joined, but I guess that's more Dubai, Abu Dhabi type sides. But I feel like we're in a time where, like I said, football has to evolve. This is the evolution of football. This is where this is going. I'm not saying that I think you had said earlier, football's been boring for a while. And it has been, and people be like, oh, that's because of the fans. And no, it's not because of the fans. Because to be honest with you, the fans don't really change, for me, the viewing of football. Like, I mean, yeah, you're used to seeing faces, but I mean, I'm there really just watching the game.
Yeah.
And watching the actual footballers, the
fans are there more so for the
atmosphere
and the passion and like last minute goals and that sort of stuff. In terms of the actual like quality of football that you see on the pitch, the rubbish referees that we have, you see like Mike Dean and all these refs refereeing week in, week out after blunders every single week. Like, that's the sort of stuff that I want to see eradicated from football.
And if there's going to be more money, all right, so they're talking like £4 billion or 400 million per team or something along those lines, or whatever it was. There's more money in the game. People are saying, oh, it's all about money, it's all about greed. Okay, yeah, but any business is about money. Like, you can't not.
UEFA and FIFA is case in point. They're
exactly.
They're
I don't understand why
they're not paying the clubs, right, what they should be
the money they should be getting. Exactly.
For doing all the things that they're doing. What are UEFA and FIFA actually doing? When you actually think about it, they're not doing anything.
Except for saying, hey, you know what? We accepted VAR, but now we should take the offside rule out of the game altogether. It's just like, wait, what? So what is VAR going to be there for? I just look at this and I think to myself, like I said, it's the evolution of football. We're going into a stage where if you're going to start banning players, then all those players, I think the Real Madrid president, Florentino Perez, he said, well, if they ban us from the World Cup, we'll just make our own World Cup. When people say that, that lets me know that there's serious money behind this. This is not a joke. It's not a game. This is not going away. This is not something that FIFA and UEFA are going to ban everybody from. This is something they have to get on board with, because
you know what? That's actually a good point, because all these entities that are totally now against it, and now they're like trying to bring in fans and say, oh no, they ruin it for the fans, when UEFA and FIFA and the FA ruined it for fans for like numbers of years. These entities are essentially middle people. They're just taking a cut of the middle. All the clubs are doing, right? And by the way, I'm not fully for, from what I've seen, I'm not fully for like this sort of format, right?
Yeah, no, I understand that. Yeah.
What I am for is that the club's taking charge and They
in
get
control of their own
yeah,
destiny.
they get the
Yeah.
money directly. They get to decide how the rules are set. They get to decide
How the money gets distributed to
when
the
you're
other
not,
clubs and
yeah,
so forth. Yeah.
how you use VAR, like why are you doing these stupid lines? Like, do you know what I mean? They get to decide all of that. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm totally for. And I think this will, even if it doesn't even go ahead, the fact that they're putting this
Having the conversation.
putting this on the table means that football, hopefully, is going to be a bit better. Because I'm sorry, it's been boring for like the last 10 years. I only watch my team play now.
Yeah, no, I used to, and like you said, I echo what you said in the group chat. I used to watch as much football as I can, at least 10 games a week, and catch up on the highlights. Or I miss something, I'm trying to like catch up on the highlights, or I'll have my laptop on and have my TV on, watch 2 different games or whatever. Now I just can't be bothered. I don't care. I don't care as much as I used to. And I think, you lost the fan a long time ago. I mean, they're talking about, the thing that's interesting to me is, and fans are fickle. We know that. Fans are talking about ticket prices before this concept came along, before this idea came along. And now you're complaining again about it because now you're like, oh, but they're going to ruin football. Dude, you're still going to go to the games, because who doesn't want to see Chelsea versus Real Madrid in midweek at Stamford Bridge? Who doesn't want to see Liverpool versus Barcelona or whatever, whoever else is in the 12 teams that's in this league and would be pushed to 20? Who doesn't want to see this? People are going to want to see it. It's a spectacle. It's entertainment.
No, I totally get. People might say that might get boring, but it won't get boring at the very start. For the first 5 years,
it's going to be exciting.
People are going to watch it. Do you know
Well,
what I mean?
I mean, more so to that point. More so to your point, they've already said we don't want to take away league football. This is just another competition.
Yeah.
So I don't understand this.
I think that's.
I don't understand the banning. I don't get it.
I think that's another thing as well that people need to understand. So like, this here is like they've only set up their own thing that is to replace Champions League football, right? But they want to be in all the other domestic football competitions. That is it, right? All this.
It's not like it's a new league where you kick out West Brom and Aston Villa and all this type of stuff. That doesn't make any sense.
All that stuff that's been talked about kicking people and making a complete new league, that's all to do with UEFA, FIFA. So
yeah, scaremongering.
So if anyone has a problem with that, right? And I'm not trying to like say, because obviously like Chelsea weren't in the Champions League like 25 years ago, right? But I'm not trying to say if you support Nottingham Forest, for example, well, obviously you've been in the Champions League before, but the likelihood of you getting back in is probably not going to be as much. So this probably isn't going to affect you as much at the moment. Do you get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So you really shouldn't have I don't know, it's not really going to kill you per se.
Yeah. I think people are looking at it negatively. One, because of misinformation. 2, because the stuff that's coming out from Sky Sports, from BT, from all these pundits. Gary Neville was very strong on his opinions about this whole thing. Relegate them and take points away from them, take trophies away. And I'm like, you clearly don't have the information yourself either, because you're talking about they're not trying to ruin the Premier League. They're trying to eradicate the Champions League, if anything. But my thing is that,
and he works for Sky.
This is it. And the other side of this is, we're talking about a competition. The Champions League used to be the European Cup. They rebranded the Champions League and they changed the structure. They were supposed to be adding more teams to the Champions League this year. They were supposed to have that conversation today, I think.
Yeah.
But
wait, one sec. So, this is only like recent, the last hour.
Yeah.
It's what BT Sport tweeted. They said a new format of the Champions League has been unanimously voted through by UEFA's committee. The competition will include 36 teams and come to effect to 2024, 2025. And ironically, one of the people that voted for this was PSG president.
Well, what's interesting to me on that case as well is, why doesn't it come into effect next season?
Is it next?
Well, no, it's not next season. But what I'm saying is that these people.
You mean why is it not next season?
Yeah, why is it not next? And the thing is, I can say maybe it's something you have to get together and get the right teams involved and the right stadiums. So I get that, but at the same time, this shouldn't be something I'm looking forward to in 2024. They're giving me top level football right now. They're telling me that August they want to start this. That's the things that I'm hearing, that I've seen on Twitter. August they want to start this. The FA all FAs from every football association in every country, FIFA, UEFA, they're a whole load of crap, because the truth of the matter is that Jose Mourinho gets sacked today, and the first thing that comes out is he didn't want to take training because of this whole new Europa League thing. Listen, he got sacked because of poor results. That's why he got sacked. He got sacked because of poor results. Spurs were doing terribly. They're 7th in the league. They lost their 5 last games or whatever. But you see how the FA and all these companies control the media. That's the first thing that comes out. Why would Jose care where he plays as long as he can win trophies? And Spurs are already signed up to it. So if he had a problem with it, that would have been known prior to this whole situation.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. He would have said that. You think Jose Mourinho, of all outspoken managers, wouldn't have said in the media, "Hey, I think this is stupid." Even if, come on, he would have said that. And that's why I think, like, football's old. It's the old way. It's time for it to change. And this is the type of change that it needs. It might not be the right change right now, but everything is in its infancy, and we need to see where that goes. And right now, people saying, "Oh, they just want to make more money." Listen, anybody out there who thinks they just want to make more money, you're 100% correct. Like, and
everything's a business, isn't it? So it's not
listen. Something they said that was so prominent to me yesterday was, COVID has shown how frail football's finances are. That screams out to me. I mean, Arsenal let go of their mascot to save money, so then they can just
and then they spend money
100K a week.
Yeah, and then they spend money on Willian. Like, this is the thing, like, you need to understand. Like, it's not just this particular situation. Like I said in the group. And by the way, I'll put the link in
the link to the group in the chat. Yeah, for sure.
People can join and have their own sort of opinions on it. But like I said in the group, football's been on life support for years. Right? Yeah, life support for years. And then it's only today, right, that you can either say it's dead and it's going to get reincarnated or whatever, or it's just dead and it's just dead, whatever, right? But today's, or yesterday afternoon, 11 p.m.
was a new start.
Was a new start for something new. We don't know what that is. Hopefully it's going to be something new where we get, even for example, 3 p.m. games in England.
Why haven't you done that yet?
Why can we not watch 3 p.m. games? So you're telling me, right, I can have a season ticket at my club, right? I can try and get, say for instance, it's an away game to West Brom on the 3 p.m. Right? Yeah. I try and get tickets. I can't get tickets because there's another 20,000 Chelsea fans that want to go to West Brom.
Get tickets.
There's only 2,000 tickets, right? So I'll try my bet, right? I pay for my BT. I pay for my Sky. I pay for my season ticket. That's like $1,000. But I can't watch a 3 p.m. game.
Nope.
Come on. This is like,
you would think they would have got over that red tape before they started to ban people from going to certain tournaments and playing in leagues. It makes no sense. Like I said, FIFA and EA have to get on board with this, because it's literally going to become a get on board or get rolled on. Because essentially, like you said, and it was very poignant when you said football's been on life support, and it's because the old ways and the old rules and no changes, and the changes that they want to make are not conducive to the way the game should be played. And the way that we look at football now versus how we might look at football in 10 years time, me and you might not even watch football in 10 years time. Our kids might not even be interested in football in 10 years time because of the things that they're already doing and how football's not changing. This is something that might excite. And unless, the elephant in the room is quite simple. Yes, eventually this will turn into a league. Eventually this might eclipse every league in the world, and it might just be one big league and then another division. And then the teams that Raph has mentioned, Nottingham Forest and all these clubs, they'll be in some lower tier of football while the big boys all duke it out for the top honors. Now, obviously people will say that's terrible and so on and so forth. I think it's only terrible.
I understand that there are some historically big clubs, and Nottingham Forest have won the Champions League. So I'm not getting on them. I'm just trying to say in the sense of a team that has a large supporting, right? Yeah. Vocal about this, right? At the moment, it's not really going to affect you.
No.
like they said, they're gonna add more teams in. So who knows what?
And they want to, and they're quite clear in there in the things that I've been reading is that they want to help football as a whole. This is not just big boys go to this big league and everybody gets left behind. They want there to be a ripple effect. They want there to be help from the grassroots level all the way up. So then you can make the sport bigger. I mean, I was actually having a debate the other day. Well, not even a debate. I just made a statement the other day, and a lot of people agreed with it. And I just said, like English football, for instance, the national team. They could benefit from something like this. And they were like, how do you mean? I said, well, me and you respectively have lived in Northwest London. The biggest player to come out of Northwest London is Raheem Sterling. And how long? And then the other region of London is like someone like Jadon Sancho or something. But that's one in like 10, 20 years, right? The reason why English football or the England team hasn't really progressed past a certain level is because they lack the idea of going into these areas and poaching these children early on and getting them into academies. Now, when you take these big clubs, you put them in these leagues, it will open up more space for these other clubs to come and say, okay, well, we can take these other players because there's space now. You can operate. Eventually, this will be a league. Eventually, this won't just be about a Champions League or anything. This will be about taking over as a whole. And they want the ripple effect of the money to fall down to the smaller clubs as well. People are still going to go watch the games. People are still going to go and be in the terraces. There's all this other chat about, this is ruining the game. It's too much money, this and that. Listen, if you looked at Haaland's deal that they're trying to shift him around the world for right now, then you don't know what too much money is. Like, there's a lot of money in this game. A lot of these clubs are probably frustrated with how this money's being distributed. Obviously, case in point, the 12 clubs that have signed up to this European League so far. And I think it's best that people go and do their Googles and their research before they cast stones, because it's important to understand why this needs to be done or why something like this needs to be done. Because I'm not going to say I'm 100% on board with it, but something like this needs to be done because football is now losing its edge. And COVID has shown, it's losing its edge. People only watching it because they have nothing else to do.
Yeah, there needs to be some sort of change. I don't know. I don't know if this is it. I personally don't think this particular format is it, me personally.
Yeah.
But I'm all on board for them shaking it up because
I want to see what happens.
Yeah,
let's just see what happens.
For years, UEFA and FIFA have just ruined football. So
yeah. I mean, UEFA and FIFA still have to answer for what happened to Chelsea in the Champions League against Barcelona that in like 2005, whenever it was. I still want answers for that. Like, and I'm not even a Chelsea supporter. I want to know what happened in that game.
That's actually funny. That's actually when I just not stopped watching football, but
I kind of just stopped caring.
Yeah, I only just started watching just my team because before I used to watch all football. But then I
wonder what VAR would have made. I wonder what VAR would have made if that two doing this on the edge of his box and ball hitting him in this area. I wonder what they would have made of that. Like, and
they wouldn't even looked at
it. When this is what I'm trying to say, FFP is a joke. FFP is a joke. And that's another FIFA rule that obviously doesn't get respected by any club. And clearly because clubs have to continue to compete at a high level, they need to be able to spend money on players. As long as there's no dirty dealings. And what I mean by that is like under the table stuff going on. If it's quite clear and transparent that these are the transfer fees that you're paying for players, then I don't have a problem with teams spending that much money. The truth of the matter is the reason why FIFA and EA do is because as their money shrinks and more money gets brought into the club, they're going to be like, oh, well, we're not making any money. And like I said, once EA, I said, well, they probably on that too.
That's another thing as well. It's actually ironic because we was playing clubs yesterday. Obviously, you were because Nicole's but playing clubs yesterday. And we were just talking about. This is completely off topic, right? But we was talking about FIFA, like the game FIFA, right? Yeah. And for those that play FIFA, the game, they know that game has died for years. And there's so much on that game that you should be able to do, but you can't do.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping out of this is going to sound so strange. I'm hoping that they're going to create a new game. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, no, something has to give, man. I think, like I said, is if you change, once this changes in real life, obviously life imitates art. It will change everything. Everything will start to fall into line. I just don't believe, like I said, once once FIFA and UEFA both negotiate the terms of their deals in terms of what money they're going to get out of this, everything will go back to normal. No one will care. The only reason why this is all a big thing is because FIFA and UEFA both sitting there saying, hey, you guys haven't told us what we're getting out of this yet. Once, I'm telling you now, this isn't going, I'd be shocked if this goes to court. I'd be shocked if all these bans stand. I think what's going to happen is, under the table, quietly, people are going to get paid, UEFA and FIFA respectively. They'll ask what the parameters are of the Champions League and, you know, how these teams are going to compete and so on and so forth. And then once they're comfortable with their payments, this will all go away.
Yeah,
they just didn't get put in the deal right now, and that's why they're upset.
It's the exact same reason as to why BT was so upset, because if these clubs came and said, BT, we want you to be the
primary broadcaster.
Yeah, the primary broadcaster. You got the complete rights to this. BT would be like, okay, yeah, cool. But it's because
it's going to. I said it already. It's going to Amazon Prime. It's going to be Amazon Prime all the way.
No, they need to cut out. I think Amazon Prime is pretty good. I'll give it that. It's a good app. It's a good platform. I'll give it that. But what they need to do, if they're going to be doing this, is they need to do what basically
make their own platform.
F1 do, which is like they have their own platform, right? And it's just sick. Like you can watch different
fresh blood, new commentators, new pundits. Not the same pundits that can't be on Sky Sports or can't be on BT. I don't want to see Andy Gray and Martin Keys, whatever his name is, because they can't get back on Sky. I want to see some new guys, young, fresh. As a matter of fact, if they really want to be smart, and when this goes out, I know this video is going to hit. If they're really smart, they will tap into the fan pages.
Yeah.
If they're really smart and this all comes together, they'll tap into the United stands and the Chelsea fan pages, the Arsenal fan TV, all that type of stuff, because these are big channels that are going to bring more people to your product than what the Premier League and what the Serie A or Bundesliga or what have you can do at this very moment. You know, fan opinion is bigger than pundit opinion now. I mean, the best pundit for me on Sky Sports is still Roy Keane. And that's just because he just says what he thinks, and you know, there's no filter. Whereas though, you know, everybody else is just boring. Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher are good. They were good when it first started out, but now they're starting to get a little bit, it's a bit mundane. Monday Night Football is not what it used to be. And so it's time for change. It's time for new people. It's time for new blood. It's time to see a different level of football. It's time to shake things up. This might not be it, but something will be born out of this that will be it. And I think the conversation, I think FIFA and UEFA need to start having that conversation. What can we do to make football better? Not just these old brand ideas, but these guys are coming along. Can we partner up with them and find a way? Yeah. That's what we really should be thinking about, man. Like, and for anybody to be upset about this, it hasn't even started yet. So we have to figure that we're still figuring this all out. Like
you don't even know the details. Like people are
exactly
conspiracy theories. They don't even know the details yet. Once we got the details, and you can literally read through the competition and see exactly what the competition is going to be like, and you can scrutinize it.
I bet you the fans who don't like it now will read that whole manifesto and say, this could be sick. And then all of a sudden, everybody's opinion is going to change. Yeah. I don't see anybody in world football sitting there saying this is going to be crap. But like I said, I think what FIFA and UEFA have to be worried about is when a man says, we'll make our own, you have to be concerned.
And when they've been,
because that means we'll cut you out.
And when they've been saying it for years and you haven't taken them seriously, that's another thing as well. Before we go, that's another thing.
Yeah,
we've been saying this for years. This has been 20 years,
20 odd years, for sure.
5 years. They've always been saying eventually this will happen. Yesterday was the day that they was like, you know what, we're going to make it happen.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? So now it's up to FIFA and UEFA to either say, you know what, they can do whatever they want to do and we'll make our game better, or they they be like grown men and women and sit at the table and
have a conversation. Like I said, it's either you get along or you're going to get rolled on. And I think that's what it is. Like I said, if a man turns around and says to you, we'll make our own, you're in trouble. That means they have the money and the people and the finance to go do that. And like I said, how transfers, you can't stop them. Players, United have already pulled out of the union. Ed Woodward has given up his spot at UEFA. Teams are serious about this. Yeah. So it's best that the governing bodies come together and have a conversation with these people and find a way to make this work, because eventually you are going to have to ban them from tournaments, and then the best players won't be at the tournaments.
Yeah, definitely.
they'll be playing elsewhere, and then nobody's gonna watch the World Cup. Nobody's gonna watch the European Championships. Nobody's gonna watch Champions League football when we don't see superstars there.
Someone said, and I'm Jamaican, but this is just funny. And you're from USA. Actually, that's
Yeah.
This has said it was going to be Jamaica USA final because
yeah, exactly. And America are getting good right now too, so that's exactly what's going to happen.
Pulisic, though, they said it won't be Pulisic and the guy at Dortmund. I think there's an American.
No. It wouldn't be Pulisic and Dest because I think Barcelona signed on as well.
Barcelona.
Yeah, Pulisic and Dest. Yeah. But that's the thing. I don't see any way out for FIFA or UEFA in this situation. I genuinely don't. I don't see any way out. I think they have to find a way to sit at the table and figure this out altogether instead of saying, nope, we're going to ban everybody, because eventually, like dude at Real Madrid said, we'll make our own World Cup, we'll make our own European Championships, ban us by all means.
Last thing that I'll say though, it's a bit worrying that the president of this new thing is Perez. Like, it's not even like some random guy. It's literally the president of Real Madrid is the president of this new competition. That's a bit worrying.
I think they voted him in though, because I was hearing something where they were saying like the 12 teams who are the founding clubs apparently now, they voted him to be the guy apparently.
I get that, but I don't think he.
No, still, it's a bit shiesty. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't think he'd be the president of a club. And
yeah,
like Formula One recently, as Dominicali is now the head of F1, the FIA, and he used to be head of Ferrari, right? Yeah. That makes sense because he used to be, but he's not anymore.
You know, they probably do need to get somebody else to oversee it long term. They're probably using him as a face because of his pulling power.
Hopefully.
But yeah, hopefully they get somebody else to be the president of their association. And but hopefully it doesn't even come to all that, man. Hopefully, like I said, the older heads just get together and just say, hey, listen, man, we want some of that 4 billion y'all are talking about. You know what I mean? Like,
I want some of it.
You know what I'm saying? If they really want to be nice, they just give it to fans. That's what they should do for all our heartache and suffering that we've had to go through this period of time and other periods. Chelsea should get some money. Chelsea fans should get some money for watching that crock of crap that they call the Champions League and all those years ago where, you know, Barcelona pretty much were helped by the referee to cheat through to get to the semis or the finals or whatever it was.
And Garcia.
I mean, come on, like the ghost goal, you know, all these things. I want money just purely for the fact that I still don't believe Messi can out jump Rio Ferdinand, but that's not the point. That's not the point. Man, I think FIFA and UEFA have to get on board with this. It's just that simple. They have no choice. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe to Footy 258. Make sure you hit the like button, notification, so you know when we post, and get involved in the conversation. Raph will also put our what is it called again? Telegram?
Yeah, our Telegram group.
Telegram. Raph put out Telegram football chat.
People already in over a month.
Yeah. So
just chat football.
Raph put Telegram football chat in the bio section, so you can click on the link and then join the conversation. And just be nice, no swearing, cussing, or being rude to anybody in the group chat.